If you've been on YouTube for the past few weeks, it's been kind of hard to ignore the Honey sponsor controversy. And frankly, as a guy who never took a Honey sponsorship, I feel pretty left out. Like, come on, dude. I need a little hate. Can everybody in the comment section just comment like, I can't believe Tom would do this. This is such a horrible thing. Taking a sponsorship from such a disgusting, truly foul company. But there are so many videos about this whole thing, and simultaneously, none of them really cover it comprehensively. And also at the same time, I feel like everybody heard about this controversy for like one day, and then it just disappeared. Like, what even happened? It just went away like that. It's gone. On to the next story. So today I thought I would try to recap the whole story from everything that I know about it and try to get a bit of a perspective from someone who is a YouTuber and could have potentially taken this sponsorship. Like, to be honest, I'm not going to act like some kind of totally virtuous guy. I easily could have taken the sponsorship and gotten bit in the ass for it. So I thought it would be interesting to go through this controversy and talk about what's going on. Now, Honey as a product and as a concept is pretty easy to understand. And I'm sure that some of you already know what it is. But for those of you that don't, Honey is a browser extension that automatically applies coupons on e-commerce sites. Jesus, I feel like I'm reading their ad read right now. This video is not sponsored by Honey, but if they did offer me like $5 million, I mean, you know, what? I'm gonna turn that down. What? Just because they're a scam? I mean, it's $5 mil. Okay, so my audience gets scammed, but then I get $5 mil. It's like you guys lose, but I get $5 mil. Like you get what I'm saying? Like you guys lose money, I get money. Would you really blame me? Now, Honey claimed to gather coupons from across the internet so that you can get a discount on whatever you are buying. So let's say you want to buy a new Lego Star Wars set on Amazon.com. The idea behind Honey is it's a browser extension you have installed, and it will automatically search the entire internet through their advanced AI, interesting, epic algorithms to find various coupon codes, which you can then insert to get a discount on your product that you are buying. In this case, new Lego Star Wars. Now you may be asking, well, how would Honey earn revenue? Well, the idea was that they would earn revenue through commissions on purchases made with the partnered retailers. Honey itself was a free browser extension. So you, if you had Honey, wouldn't actually be paying for the service. Now, users could also earn Honey Gold points for purchases, which could be redeemed for additional discounts. Kind of like, you know, if you use a credit card enough, you get credit card points, you basically get to redeem them. The same sort of idea. Some other features would include a drop list, which notified users when the price of an item would drop, and Amazon Badge, which essentially compares prices from different resellers on Amazon. So like, you're going to buy that Lego Star Wars set, there's 10 different listings. The idea is that Honey will automatically search through them to find the best deal. Essentially, it was just a tool that searched for and applied coupons during checkout and did a few other things to try and get you the best deal possible. That was the entire marketing concept from the beginning. And it's very enticing for a lot of people because, I mean, at this point, people don't really shop places in person. I mean, you know, I'm sure people get groceries and stuff like that, but the amount of online retail checkout stuff that goes on Amazon or Walmart.com has absolutely exploded within the last 10 to 15 years. So it's, you know, honestly a pretty genius idea to try to capitalize on all of those sales that are going on online. Now, Honey was launched by Ryan Hudson and George Ruan in November of 2012. So it's actually a pretty old product. Now, at the time, a bug tester actually leaked the prototype onto Reddit, which led to the extension being picked up on by users early, and they ended up using it, and, you know, I guess they liked it because by March 2014, Honey had managed to attract 900,000 users, and that was all without paid promotion, right? That was all without paying YouTubers to do anything. That was just people using the app and liking it. Now, in 2017, Honey managed to raise $26 million in funding. Basically, a bunch of people saw that Honey was very successful. They were like, okay, why don't I get in there? And they had like a Shark Tank meme kind of thing where a bunch of people put money in with the idea that Honey would increase in value as a company. And that was followed by a total of $40.8 million in fundraising by early 2018. So they were doing pretty well. They were doing absolutely pretty well. And around this time, they also had started advertising with different YouTubers, which is when you guys probably started hearing about Honey. Back in 2018, 2019, they had a pretty big marketing campaign, and you would hear about it from, I mean, pretty much anyone under the sun. And it makes sense because let's say you want to get an ad on a TV channel, right? Let's say you want to get an ad on CNN. On CNN, they average on a really good day like 1 million viewers. And for an ad spot, they charge, it could be tens of thousands, sometimes upwards of $100,000 for one like 30-second ad spot. Meanwhile, you go to YouTube, you could find a YouTuber with 1 million subscribers, and they're probably going to charge you maybe 20 grand on the high end. It could be even lower, especially back then. So you're getting a major steal there. And instead of marketing with one TV channel, you can market with a ton of different YouTubers with much more active, engaged, parasocially attached audiences, which is why it makes sense that companies want to sponsor with YouTubers. So Honey was doing so well that in 2020, a big company took notice of them. That big company, that big, omnipotent, beautiful, amazing, shining beast being PayPal, who acquired the company for around $4 billion. $4 billion. dollars. And like, I know that sounds like a lot of money on paper, but just to give you an idea, okay? George Lucas in 2012 sold Lucasfilm to Disney for $4 billion. Star Wars for $4 billion. Honey was sold for the same amount of money as Star Wars. That is how massive PayPal knew this company would become. Now, before the acquisition, Amazon accused Honey of being a security threat and implied that it was selling user data actually, which is pretty interesting. We got an article here from The Verge that says Amazon suspiciously says browser extension Honey is a security risk now that PayPal owns it. You can see there was a notice being posted on Amazon at the time. This guy, Ryan Hutchins, had tweeted it out. Security warning, Honey's browser extension is a security risk. Honey tracks your private shopping behavior, collects data like your order history and items saved, and can read or change any of your data on any website you visit. To keep your data private and secure, uninstall this extension immediately. Now, some people thought that maybe this was some kind of virtuous thing. Amazon was doing this for a good reason. Other people thought maybe it was just Amazon basically trying to get rid of a competitor, right? I actually didn't know about any of this, like Amazon's little, I don't know if you'd call it a beef. It's not really a beef, but Amazon's little call out of Honey back in the day. And I haven't really seen very many people mention this, but I do like the idea that like Jeff Bezos is just firing shots at Honey out of pettiness while eating a bunch of maple syrup with a spoon. I do like that idea, though that's definitely not what happened, but it is what happened in my mind, and I spread misinformation constantly because I love it. Now, this wasn't like a vague statement made to journalists or people who worked at Amazon to keep in mind. It was the website straight up telling anyone who had identified as using the extension that there was a major risk here, which is why Ryan Hutchins said Amazon's telling shoppers that the browser extension Honey gives you coupon codes and other ways to save is malware. And then he's like, PayPal bought Honey for $4 billion. That's one expensive piece of malware. Then you got this guy in the replies, Patrick, who says, Amazon, hey, wait, don't use Honey. It tracks everything you do, knows everything about you, and it's super dangerous. Please uninstall. Anyways, while I have you here, I got you this sick deal on Echo. Now, around the same time that this happened, the Better Business Bureau looked into a misleading Honey ad that claimed it could find and apply every coupon code online. We have a little page here about it that reads, the advertiser's claims, including the claim that it provides consumers with access to every working code on the internet, were challenged by Retail Me Not, Inc., provider of a competing online coupon code aggregation service. So basically here we have the competitor wars going on, all right? They're firing shots at each other. And Honey basically had to stop running that ad, which basically resolved the matter. But even back then, we see them being like, hey, we have technology to find every single code online, which wasn't necessarily the case. Now, in 2022, Honey rebranded as PayPal Honey, which felt pretty inevitable at that point. They were bought by the company. A lot of people, despite how annoying and cringe PayPal is, a lot of people do associate it with a very big brand, a very big name, so they're more likely to trust it if it has a name behind it, right? But most of you guys probably don't know about Honey from this brief little history of some of their spats and controversies back in the day. Instead, you guys have most likely heard of it from the thousands of YouTubers who have gotten a Honey subscription.
Do you have Honey installed?
What's Honey?
Oh, no.
Honey.
Honey is a free browser extension.
Free browser extension.
Free browser extension.
Free browser extension.
That automatically applies coupon codes when you check out online.
Free money, basically.
It's literally free money.
It doesn't make sense to not be using this.
So what's the catch?
There is no catch.
Join Honey.
Join Honey. Join Honey.
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 Honey. Honey.
Honey.
Honey.
Honey.
Honey. Honey. Honey.
Join Honey.
Now, Honey, much like NordVPN, Audible, Raid, Shadow Legends, Vikings, War of Clans, all these different, products, leaned heavily on sponsoring YouTubers worldwide to boost their recognition and drive usage. And for a while, this strategy was highly effective. Now, personally, I've never used Honey, but I have heard about people who have. And at first glance, it kind of seems like a no-brainer, right? It's free, so there's that. Why not try out a free product with no strings attached? It had pretty glowing reviews on the Chrome store, and it was endorsed by massive YouTubers like MrBeast, Moist Critical, MKBHD, PewDiePie, and this is just like 4 random names to pick out of a hat. There are so many different people that were sponsored by Honey and pushed it at the time. So with that kind of backing, it seems almost foolish to not at least try this thing to see if you could save some money on online purchases. Who doesn't want to save money? Especially with the idea that you can do it for free. It seems too good to be true, but come on, guys. YouTube sponsorship. Buy that shit.
Buy that merch.
Now, despite the hype around this stuff, some people did remain pretty skeptical around this. And the biggest red flag for many was the question of how Honey, a supposedly magical free service handing out discounts, could afford massive corporate offices and eventually get acquired by PayPal. The obvious question becomes, where's the money coming from? Where are they making money? How does this company even exist? And the skepticism wasn't limited to a few people. It was actually a pretty common sentiment in online communities. One of the more prominent voices expressing distrust was actually Markiplier back in the day, funnily enough. enough. And in this clip, Mark himself is like, I don't even know why I don't trust this company. I don't even know why there's just something weird about Honey, but there is something weird, and he didn't seem to understand where the money was coming from, which, to be honest, is a relatively valid question to ask when you're promoting various businesses. And Mark definitely saved himself a little bit of grief by not taking that sponsorship. And now everyone on Reddit is like, oh my god, Markiplier is the holy messiah. He is the king, soft angel, beautiful boy, baby boy. And frankly, I agree. If Markiplier was in my room right now, I wouldn't have time to record this video because I'd be way too busy hanging out with him, playing video games together. What did you think I was going to say? Something gay? Freak? You gay freak? But before I go any further, this video is sponsored by GamerSupps. GamerSupps is the best energy drink in the game. It's packed with everything you need and nothing that you don't. It's got 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 headaches, 0 blood sugar spikes, unlike every other energy drink. And it's only 40 cents per serving. They've got cups with big tits on them if you like that. But the more important thing is that all the flavors taste really good. I personally use GamerSupps a lot. It's my favorite energy drink, and it's pretty cheap. It's pretty inexpensive, and it's better than the others. So like what loss is there? Like what are you doing with your life right now that's so important that you can't buy GamerSupps? You f***ing loser. They've got a bunch of flavors. My favorite one as of late is Chug Juice, not related to any kind of property at all. Chug Juice, okay, it's its own thing. Chug Juice. If you like chugging juice, then this is the one for you. And it tastes really good. But if you don't like Chug Juice, they've got a lot of other flavors on their site. Basically something for everyone. So go to my link in the description, use code TOM to get 10% off your order of GamerSupps right now. And yeah, without further ado, back to the video.
I have a natural distrust of honey. I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but I naturally distrust honey. And I don't, okay, all right, guys, all right, we're gonna stop. Everyone listen. I don't know what it is, but my gut tells me that nothing in life is free. So where's all these savings coming from? And like the money that people get from honey, I don't trust it. They push so much advertising. They push so much advertising on YouTube. They do brand deals with other YouTubers. I think they've even offered me, and I said no, because I just don't trust honey. I have a feeling there's gonna, in like a couple years, there's gonna be the great honey conspiracy of like 2022. And I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's fine. And like, I got no problem with like the concept of an app that like clips coupon codes for you. That's great. That sounds great on its surface, but there's some shady shit going on. I can't put my finger upon it. But why do they spend millions on advertising, and then people are getting money out of it, and then people are saving money out of it, and that makes sense, but the other part doesn't make sense, and then something's going on here. Where's all this money coming from? Where is honey getting the money?
As it turns out, these vague doubts eventually turned out to be somewhat valid. On December 21st of 2024, the YouTuber Megalag would drop a 23-minute video titled Exposing the Honey Influencer Scam, which is basically an in-depth investigation that he and a team launched on Honey to see where the money was coming from, to answer the question of how do they make any of this money in the first place. And it's pretty insane what he found. I think that the doubts ahead of time were valid, but I don't think that anyone could have suspected just how crazy things got. So Megalag began by testing Honey using controlled purchases with and without the extension enabled. And these tests revealed a very interesting trend. Honey consistently overrided existing affiliate cookies, redirecting the associated commissions to itself. For instance, in one demonstration, a purchase without Honey resulted in a $35.60 commission being paid to the intended affiliate. Meanwhile, when Honey was used for the same purchase, it blocked the original affiliate and directed the commission to itself. The user, in turn, received just 89 cents worth of Honey Gold, a point system offered by the extension which can be redeemed for rewards.
I received a custom affiliate link for my YouTube channel. Using this link, I made 2 separate purchases. For the first, I activated Honey Gold, and sure enough, you can see my affiliate cookie was replaced with Honey's. And for the second, I didn't activate Honey Gold. As expected, I was awarded a $35 commission for the sale where Honey Gold wasn't activated, and received nothing when Honey Gold was activated. For the first time, I experienced Honey poaching my own affiliate commission. So how much of my stolen $35 commission did PayPal sharers cash back with my Honey account, aka the consumer? Brace yourselves, 89 points, which is equivalent to 89 cents USD. That's right, Honey poached a $35 commission for doing nothing and rewarded me a grand total of 89 cents. Thanks, PayPal. You really shouldn't have.
Now, this stark discrepancy really highlights that Honey is primarily absorbing the majority of the commissions, offering only a token reward to users for their participation. So they are essentially stealing affiliate codes from other businesses. Now, this video also examined how Honey's discount system functions. According to Megalag, the codes Honey provides during checkout may not always actually be the best available. Honey publicly acknowledges that its business partners control the visibility of discount codes on its platform, which basically means that if you want to get a discount code, you're not actually getting the best discount code. You're getting the discount code that Honey gives you through its affiliate, where it makes the most money possible. So it's not actually getting you the best deal at all. This arrangement suggests that users are often directed towards codes selected by Honey's affiliates, which means you're potentially missing out, and probably definitely missing out, on better deals that you could just find on your own. So the result is a system where the savings advertised to consumers are secondary to the financial benefits that Honey reaps from redirecting commissions. Basically defeats the entire purpose of the business in and of itself, right? Like, why even have Honey at this point?
As I was testing Honey across different stores, I was encountering a reoccurring issue. When I reached the checkout page, Honey would claim it couldn't find me any coupon codes. Yet when I searched manually, I found working codes with these. And even when Honey did find me a code, I was often able to find another code of better value. Kind of strange, given their claim that,
Well, thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is now a thing of the past.
Another oddity was that Honey would often only find me Honey branded coupon codes, such as Honey 5 or Honey 10. Why would a store only have Honey branded coupon codes? Kind of weird, right? But the biggest red flag was that when I tried submitting the better coupon codes I'd found, Honey wasn't adding them to their database. So why not? Well, eventually I figured out what was going on. It turns out that one of the key benefits for stores partnering with Honey is that they are given full control over which coupon codes go live on the platform, if any at all. I discovered this while listening to a podcast produced by Honey, which appears to be aimed at attracting new businesses to joining their platform. In this podcast, an employee from the Australian clothing store, Princess Polly, discusses the benefits of partnering with Honey.
What would you say to any brand that is considered working with Honey but hasn't yet?
I would say missing out on converting customers. Like I said before, Gen Z is super discount savvy. You can't ignore the fact that they will hunt for like discount codes and they might find a better deal. With Honey, you can also control the discount code percentage, which means like they will potentially find a higher discount code on the internet. It literally lets you control like the customer journey, convert and control like the discount code percentage as well.
Now, beyond its direct impact on consumers, Honey's practices also affected content creators and influencers who relied on affiliate marketing. Content creators or organizations, whoever is promoting something right, they use affiliate links to earn commissions when their audience makes purchases through their recommendation. So for example, let's say I'm like, hey, my name is Tom, I'm promoting Gamer Subs today, hypothetically speaking of course, but do use code Tom to get 10% off. When people use that code on Gamer Subs, they use code Tom, I get a percentage of the sale from my code. Now what Honey did is basically override referral cookies to divert the commissions, effectively cutting into the revenue streams of creators. And that means that for creators who depend on earnings from affiliate codes, the extension is essentially entirely undermining their ability to generate income. This is like if I sold Gamer Subs, you had the Honey extension, you click my link, Honey then steals the money that I should be making from that commission. Like that's essentially what's going on there, right? That's essentially what the comparison would be.
So let me show you how Honey's been stealing money from influencers. So let's say you're watching a video on YouTube. If you're into tech like me, maybe you're watching a Linus Tech Tips video. Linus tells you about this free browser extension that saves you money online. You install it in 2 clicks and boom, you have Honey. Perfect timing because it just so happens you're looking to buy a new CPU for your computer. You come across another Linus Tech Tips video and after watching, you're convinced you should buy the one recommended in his video. So you scroll down and find Linus's affiliate link to that product. Now, for those of you who don't know, when you click an affiliate link and buy something, the influencer who promoted the product earns a commission for referring you to that store. So you add the product to your cart, get to the checkout page, and hello, Honey says they found you 10 coupon codes. Sweet. You click apply discounts and Honey gets to work. But unfortunately, none of the coupon codes worked. Doesn't matter though, because as Honey has promised us for years, that means we know we've got the best deal. So you complete your purchase, you're happy, your new CPU's on the way, Linus is happy, he's getting his commission, everyone's happy, right? Well, let's quickly rewind and see what was happening behind the scenes. You see, after clicking Linus's affiliate link, you'll notice in the URL, there's a tracking tag labeled short circuit. That's a reference to one of Linus's YouTube channels. and this tracking tag is how Newegg knows who to pay a commission to. We can also see that this tracking tag has been saved on my browser in the form of a cookie that will expire in 30 days. That way, if we only decide to complete the purchase a few days later, Linus will still be credited the sale. It's kind of like when you're at a department store buying a TV and the salesman who helped you gives you a referral card or a receipt with their name on it, so when you eventually get to the checkout counter, the clerk knows which salesman to award the sale to. You can think of affiliate cookies as a digital version of that. So what happened when we got to the checkout page? Well, once Honey popped up, watch what happened to Linus's affiliate cookie after we clicked apply discounts. You see that? Honey came in, removed Linus's affiliate cookie, and replaced it with their own, claiming credit for the sale and pocketing the commission money for themselves. Yeah.
Now at this point, Megalag also introduces a pretty interesting character into this whole debacle, and that character is Linus from Linus Tech Tips, one of the biggest tech channels on YouTube. He essentially revealed that back in 2020, a user on Linus's forums figured out what was going on and had some major questions about Honey, and they posted about it. But barely anyone really responded. There wasn't really any talk about it on the forum. But they were particularly concerned because Linus at the time was promoting Honey. Now fast forward to 2022, and someone made the realization that Linus was actually no longer sponsored by Honey. One day he's taking their sponsorships up the wazoo. The next day, Honey is completely gone. He's not taking sponsorships from them, and that made them question like what's going on. And at the time, an employee of Linus Tech Tips actually responded with a pretty in-depth explanation. We ended the partnership with Honey due to the way their service interacted with affiliate links. Essentially, if someone clicked on an affiliate link, for example, one of ours below in the video description on YouTube, and then if they use Honey and search for a deal, Honey will override that tracking link even if they don't find you a deal. That didn't jive with us, so we ended the partnership. Now, obviously, this looks kind of bad in terms of optics for the Linus Tech Tips channel, as for some reason they had not gone public with this extremely damning information about Honey. Honey may have been being sneaky about it, but it's not like the majority of creators knew what was going on, and it's possible that if Linus had said something sooner, then maybe they could have prevented this whole thing from going down, or at least they could have prevented Honey from reaching more people and potentially scamming others. But I will say, to defend Linus a little bit here, I'm going to explore a few possibilities. First of all, it's possible that Linus was under some kind of NDA or non-disparagement clause to not talk about this stuff publicly with Honey, to not disparage them as a brand on their YouTube channel, but you could argue that they were kind of breaking the NDA with that employee saying that on the forum, so therefore why not just say it publicly at that point? But then even beyond that, you could just argue like, is it Linus's responsibility to stop everyone from being scammed? I mean, in an ideal world, that would be good. At the very least, it's good that he stopped taking that sponsorship, but obviously, you know, people gave Linus a lot of shit for this, right? Megalag reached out to Linus via email for a response, and this is what he said.
I'll be honest, their response was not to my satisfaction. They didn't address the majority of my questions. However, they did at least provide some important context about their dealings with Honey. LMG stated that as soon as these issues with Honey were brought to us, we tried to work with them to remedy them. After a few calls, we were informed that they weren't willing to change, so we stopped working with them across all channels. So let me get this straight. One of Honey's biggest promoters goes to them and says, "Hey, can you please stop overriding our affiliate links?" And Honey effectively goes, "Nah, not happening." Assuming I've got that correct, and if true, that just goes to show what little regard Honey has not only for content creators, but also their partners.
So to Megalag and a lot of people, this didn't really look great for the Linus team. Now Mega would end the video teasing much more to come, including interviews and several other bombshells, but that follow-up video has yet to come out. We have not seen that yet. But that doesn't really matter for now, because this video instantly blew up and started getting talked about by nearly everyone under the sun, racking up to a total of 16 million views. And I'm no expert, so maybe Megalag is full of shit somehow, but from everything that I can tell about what he said and my very layman's understanding of Honey and the technology behind it and cookies and all of that, it seems like his research is pretty good. And it seems like he did a good job of talking about what's going on with Honey. And I think that the view count being 16 million is a testament to just how many people know about Honey. Like, this is one of the biggest YouTube sponsorships ever. Everybody has heard about them at some point, whether you've used them or not. The brand is like synonymous with YouTubers. So that video getting 16 million views is not that surprising. Now, CoffeeZilla also made a tweet fully endorsing the video and saying that it was an incredible investigation, so he seems relatively convinced that it was, in fact, a good video that was well researched, and that Megalag did a good job of breaking down the situation. And at the same time, people started looking through the past to see, like, was there anyone else who talked about this stuff? And that's when the older clip of Markiplier saying that he didn't trust Honey blew up, to which Markiplier himself actually replied and was like, "I knew it!" And then he talked about it on stream as well, being like, "Well, you should have listened to me. You should have listened to good old old Markiplier. You didn't believe good old Markiplier. My spleen. If only you'd listen to me, you damn kids. Now get off my lawn.
Speaking of my instincts being right, honey. I can't believe that. I can't believe it. Honey turned out to be a scam. I can't believe it.
And at this point, the next step was kind of to go like, all right, well, what creators took a honey sponsorship and what do they have to say about this? That was the biggest question on everyone's mind. And so several people that had previously been sponsored by Honey would make their own videos covering the situation as well. And basically on one hand apologizing, but of course also clarifying that they had no idea any of this was going on behind the scenes with Honey. Most notably, Critical's video was pretty interesting where he spends like a good portion of just a lot of the video talking shit about Honey and referring to them as crooks. And his video got 10 million views. So now you have basically, I mean, I'm sure there's overlap between Megalag's video and Charlie's video, but I would guess that at least like 15, 16 to 20 million people were aware of the Honey scam going on at this point and wanted to talk about it.
Obviously, knowing what I know now about this company, I wish I never worked with them. I'm sorry for ever having promoted Honey. I clearly didn't know any of this was going on. Nobody did until Megalag's investigation. This was something that there wasn't even whispers of.
You click on their affiliate link and get to the checkout. But in this scenario, Honey knows it has nothing to offer. No coupon codes, no Honey Gold, yet it still pops up to announce absolutely nothing. Annoying as fuck. Naturally, you click the got it button to get rid of the annoying dancing coin, and whoa, what's that? PayPal takes the sale.
I couldn't help but just laugh at that one. That is cartoonishly evil. That is so scummy.
In barely like a 24-hour period, pretty much everybody on the entire internet knew about this Honey scam, even if they had not watched the entire video. Several clips also went viral on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok that pretty much told everyone what they needed to know in under 2 minutes, which honestly is a testament to how good Megalag's video is, because it really is a good video. It's easy to understand. It's thorough, it's to the point, while also being pretty in-depth, and I think it really communicates well to the layman, you know, someone like me who doesn't really understand all the tech stuff behind this. It's just kind of watching like with my mouth open like a monkey, like, oh yeah, that's true, yeah. But it also explains it well to people who are more on the technical side of things, who maybe have researched cookies or researched various browser extensions and know how they work, researched data being stolen, and they're like, oh, this is a good video that explains, you know, what I want to see, right? It kind of satisfies every camp. 10 out of 10 video, I would say. So after seeing the universal reaction from almost everybody, it was pretty clear what was going to happen next, which was that Honey was going down the drain. Almost immediately, they would start getting trashed on every kind of review site. Right now, their review on Trustpilot is still at a 2.4 star rating. It has absolutely fallen off. You know how sometimes you click look for deals and they don't find anything? They've still replaced the influencer's attribution link, how they earn money for promoting products, with their own PayPal link. Honey effectively swindles influencers that have earned money. It's immoral, and I can imagine in the near future it will be shut down. Scammers, 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 a huge fraud. This backlash was so intense that people in the reviews began speculating that Trustpilot was conspiring with Honey to delete 1-star reviews, so everyone started giving Honey 2-star reviews instead of 1. I don't think there's any evidence that Trustpilot was conspiring with Honey. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's something I'm missing. I haven't been able to find any evidence of Trustpilot conspiring with Honey. That would be pretty bad. That would kind of undermine their entire website and business model if that was the case. But what I will say is it's funny how people were just like, why isn't the number going down? Why isn't it going down? So let's give them 2 stars. Trustpilot have teamed up with Honey to delete 1-star reviews since all of them get deleted. I have purchased many products using Honey, and their deceiving advertisements prevented me from using discount codes that were active at the time. Now, in regards to if Honey themselves would make a statement, several publications, several journalists reached out and were like, hey, Honey, we know, we've had a good relationship in the past, we've been good friends, but would you maybe want to make a comment about what's going on? Can we get some kind of response here? Like, things are looking pretty bad, Honey. You might want to say something about it. Might want to like quell the backlash, like put a cork in it, right in the internet's asshole, like just shove something in there to stop the diarrhea coming out. And The Verge actually ended up getting a response back, right? And they said, Honey is free to use and provides millions of shoppers with additional savings on their purchases whenever possible. Honey helps merchants reduce cart abandonment and comparison shopping while increasing sales conversion. Like, is this just an ad? Like, did they send the wrong email? I don't really understand. Like, this is literally just you like being like, yeah, we still rock, dude. That's kind of cool, actually. Someone like accuse you of something and you're like, I actually am cool. Here's what I do, dude. Here's what you think I do. Here's what I'm saying I do. Your own, dude. I mean, it's probably the most milquetoast, bland, nothing statement they could possibly make, but based dude. The Verge is owned, dude. I'm amazed they even bothered with responding when it was that. It's just nothing. Now, in terms of how much this has affected Honey monetarily, it's hard to say exactly what's going on behind the scenes, but it's clear that they have lost some of their user base. Honey itself hasn't released any numbers, but it's been reported that they've lost as many as 3 million Chrome users, and that number is expected to be much higher as the months roll by. So they definitely are losing some amount of money from this. Honey losing money. Got him. But Honey themselves claim to have as many as 17 million monthly users. So realistically speaking, like it is a pretty big cut to their revenue, but it honestly may not be enough to like make them go out of business or anything like that. It's really hard to say until we get more developments and updates from them, especially because they're backed by PayPal. So PayPal, for all we know, could just fund them endlessly and try to keep it going, right? Now, Linus Tech Tips would also respond to the small amount of backlash he had been receiving in regards to not making the information public. And he said he didn't understand why he was getting backlash in the first place.
Why am I still getting hate?
He made a point to emphasize how they were victims getting their referral code taken from by Honey. And he really emphasized how he himself was a victim as well as a lot of other creators because he was getting his referral codes taken by Honey. You can tell it's a very uncomfortable conversation. The comments are an absolute war zone of people being like, you should have said something. We know you're a victim of this product, but you still should have said something about it. And, you know, I hate to both sides this, but I kind of do see both sides of the argument because on one hand, obviously people in the audience want Linus to expose Honey for what they truly are and wanted him to do it years ago to save them some amount of grief. But at the same time, like from Linus's perspective, he probably just doesn't want to be starting controversy. He doesn't want to be getting in shit. He doesn't want to potentially spark a lawsuit from Honey or have his neck breathed down by this massive company, which is backed by PayPal, an even more massive company. So I am somewhat sympathetic. I wish that he said more of that in this clip, but I do, you know, have some amount of understanding and sympathy for Linus here. But regardless of what I think, the response got a pretty negative reception with a lot of comments calling out Linus for what they perceived as him being kind of spineless and not talking about it publicly sooner.
I don't really get the emphasis on us, to be honest with you. I don't really know what people are expecting me to say about it other than, yeah, we like heard about it in the news, same as apparently basically everyone else, given how many folks stopped working with them in the 2020, 2021 timeframe. And yeah, cool. Sea Surfer says it's also arguable that LTT was by far the largest channel and thus had the platform to motivate wider change. It's arguable. It's very difficult to argue. I mean, given that Mr. Beast was the #1 Honey promoter, I think that if you were to make the argument that LTT is bigger than Mr. Beast, then not only would that be a difficult argument, you'd be kind of a fucking idiot. So
it's not our story to break. I'm a victim here. Holy hell, dude. Nobody's saying that you aren't. Megalag is upset that you guys figured this out 2.5 years ago and said nothing to anybody. It's not that deep. Megalag never claimed you were the biggest channel promoting Honey. He said you were one of the biggest, which is true. You were #3 on the chart he showed. You still have a responsibility to your viewers. If you have time to promote the product, you have time to warn your community about dropping them. People would even start talking about how Linus in general needs to work on his PR, at least some kind of way to respond to controversies better, as they see this as not being the first time he's poorly responded to a controversy in a way that a lot of people found unfavorable. Hey Linus, please stop responding to controversies on your live show. You are literally awful at it. And I would generally agree with that. I think responding to controversies in a live format is generally not a good idea. The best way to do it is to have some kind of written statement and then put it in a video or something like that, where it's pre-planned and a little more thought out. Doing it very off the cuff on a live show, typically just not a good idea. But regardless of whatever was happening with Linus, we can go back to Honey, because Honey was getting absolutely pounded by every single corner of the internet, but the pounding would not stop there. In fact, the pounding had just begun. Now, a few weeks after the story had broken, popular YouTuber Legal Eagle would upload "I'm suing Honey," and the title pretty much says it all. The legal action has been spearheaded by 3 law firms, the plaintiffs among them being Sam Denby of Wendover Productions and musician Ali Spagnola, who assert that Honey engages in practices detrimental to affiliate marketers. Specifically, the suit accuses Honey of intentionally interfering with contractual and prospective economic relationships, unjust enrichment, conversion, and violations of California's unfair competition law.
So I say, enough is enough. It's time to put my money where my mouth is. So I, along with some other great attorneys, filed suit on behalf of all creators and businesses who have been harmed by Honey PayPal. Because there are so many people, we filed a class action lawsuit seeking damages in the form of the money that we believe Honey prevented from reaching creators so we can give it back to creators. And equally important, we're suing for an injunction to stop Honey's practices in the future.
But that was not the end of the litigation, because on January 3rd of 2025, technology review outlet Gamers Nexus filed a separate class action lawsuit, as well as making a video talking about their intentions. Now, Gamers Nexus alleges that Honey's practices amount to conversion, interference with contractual relations, and violations of North Carolina's Unfair and Deceptive Trade Practices Act. And we have a little quote here. These legal challenges stem from claims that Honey manipulates affiliate marketing mechanisms to its advantage. By allegedly replacing original affiliate links with its own during user transactions, Honey is accused of redirecting commissions away from content creators who rely on this income. This practice, often referred to as cookie stuffing, allegedly allows Honey to capture affiliate commissions that would otherwise go to these creators.
I think Google would flag that as invalid traffic. I think if Google were paying you for impressions, or if the browser automation does some kind of a click-through for, some kind of an ad that they carry, I don't know, that doesn't, maybe not. But the others, like on eBay runs third-party ads, bestbuy.com runs third-party ads, depending on where you are.
I think
depending on what they're doing
too.
Yeah, and so if you have a tab that loads those ads, certainly it is, if Newegg themselves were doing this, or eBay themselves were doing this, or providing a browser plugin to do this, which is interesting now why I've been mentioning eBay this whole time, because remember the origins of Honey. That would be against the terms of service for the advertising. Like, Google does not really like you to do that kind of automation.
And this is basically what we were talking about earlier with the affiliate link stealing, where they get the money from the affiliate conversion rather than the person initially promoting that product. So if you have Honey installed as a browser extension, they could be stealing any affiliate link that you use, basically, right? Now, in response to these allegations, PayPal actually did give a bit of a response, and they said that Honey operates within established industry standards, including the practice of last-click attribution. A spokesperson for PayPal stated that the company disputes the claims made in the lawsuits, asserting that Honey adheres to accepted norms in affiliate marketing. So they're like, we do what everyone else does. We're cool guys. We did nothing wrong. We're based. You're cringe, and gay even. They even called them gay. That was also on my mind, but I do wish that happened. Now, a guy named Attorney Tom, who's another law tuber in the law community, which I guess is like Nick Ricada, well, maybe not anymore, Legal Eagle and Attorney Tom, he uploaded a very useful video where he tried to clear up some of the misconceptions around the Honey lawsuit. For one, a lot of people were wondering if the lawsuit concerned the millions of customers that have been using Honey, and if people who have downloaded Honey will be getting compensated. But according to him, this is actually not the case, and the lawsuit is only really concerning content creators whose links had been swapped out. This is not for the average person. He does add a caveat, though, and says it's possible that in the future, consumers could be able to be added to this depending on how the lawsuit goes, or maybe if it expands its scope or something like that. He also makes it clear that this lawsuit is not going to be a quick one. It will probably take a very long time. When I say a very long time, I don't mean weeks, I don't mean months. In Attorney Tom's words, he says like probably several years.
Couple things. Every client that signs up with my law firm, every client, almost every client, disclaimer, I tell them the average lawsuit takes between 2 and 5 years. The average lawsuit, 2 to 5 years. This will not happen quickly, and you're not going to get paid a bazillion dollars.
In terms of YouTube drama, he might as well be saying that this lawsuit will resolve when the next ice age is, because these stories come and go so fast. And I mean, by the time this lawsuit is resolved, whatever way it goes, everybody will have moved on from this story and basically have forgotten about it. But I will say, for other creators that are expecting some kind of massive payout anytime soon, that might happen in the next 2 to 5 years, maybe. But I guess if you're a YouTuber watching this and you used Honey at some point, or you think that Honey may have stolen your affiliate codes, like, I mean, go ahead and hop in there, dude. You got an excuse, you got a time to shine right now. I think the most interesting part of this entire Honey case, or I suppose the most interesting question about it, is if this company Honey can get to people like Critical and Mr. Beast and become such a big thing, what other prevalent YouTube sponsors could potentially be hiding something devious? And I'm not trying to start some kind of like paranoid witch hunt, but it is just a genuine question that I want to ask the audience, I guess. Don't get me wrong, this is not the first time that some kind of sponsor has gotten people into hot water. I mean, BetterHelp is probably the best example of this. BetterHelp is like an online therapy platform that a lot of people were using, and then gotten a lot of controversy for some ethical questions around basically whether or not it's ethical to even use an online therapist. But on top of that, a lot of specifics going into that situation. A lot of people had questions about it. And despite the fact they got into hot water a second time like 10 months ago, there are still a decent amount of YouTubers like Anthony Padilla that are taking BetterHelp sponsorships. And I'm not trying to like cancel Anthony, but I'm just kind of raising the question of how many other sponsorships could there be that could cause a massive amount of backlash from the audience? You know what I mean? I think really what this entire controversy is a reminder of is you shouldn't shouldn't just blindly trust whatever brand a YouTuber is promoting just because they promote it. I don't think that any of the YouTubers involved in promoting honey really knew what was going on and how it was such a scam for multiple reasons. Firstly, I don't think that the average YouTuber wants to promote a scam to their audience. And secondly, YouTubers know that if there's a product that they're selling that is a bad product or some kind of disingenuous thing or some kind of scam, eventually it will be brought to light and they will get in controversy. So both for ethical reasons and for the purpose of self-preservation, if you find out that a sponsor you've been taking or a sponsor you could potentially take is a bad product, you're not going to want to do that, right? All of this is to say that just because someone promotes something on YouTube doesn't mean you should necessarily trust or buy that product. Unless it's me, of course, which is why this video is sponsored by Gamersupps. Go to gamersupps.gg and use code TOM for 10% off your order right freaking now. All right, that's about it for today. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.
This is Tom Dog going cold turkey, boss. I already told you, stop gooning and jerking off. You saw the merch, make a purchase, dog. Got all the thirsty thoughts in a twerkathon. They all trying to slurp to my jerky soft. I had enough, had to bust in a Kirkland sock. Barefoot, raw dogging in my Birkenstocks. Then it's back to the turkey slop, cause the work don't stop.